Everybody, Tech Dad here. Today's topic is a career as a Scrum Master. So what is a Scrum Master? Well, it's part of this concept of agile development. Agile development is a repetitive concept where you design, build, and test in small increments as opposed to something called the waterfall methodology. The waterfall methodology, you start at the beginning and you work and you work and you work over long periods of time before you get any testing or feedback done. As you can tell, the waterfall is not great in terms of success rate because it takes too long to get to an endpoint where someone can give you feedback. So with the Scrum methodology as a part of Agile, it allows us to work in 2-week increments and then be able to test, show the software to somewhere, evaluate, etc., change direction if we need to. Also, you can have small groups of folks assigned to different sprints. The sprints are the 2-week time periods where they're all working on something different, and then we roll it up together to build it and test the product. It's much more efficient, more easily modified or changed as needed. So where did this word Scrum come from? For you rugby fans out there, Scrum is a term taken from a scrum in rugby where you got a group of guys huddled together trying to accomplish a goal, and that's kind of where it came from. In terms of concepts, the Scrum Master leads a set of Scrum meetings. They're called the daily stand-up, and they're responsible for ensuring that any resources that are needed in the context of that team of developers that are building the software, he or she helps get that resource, whatever it is. The Scrum Master also works with the product owner, who's typically from the business side, who is putting the priorities in place in terms of what the business wants to see put together first in order of priority and as a product is being built. And so obviously Scrum Master is very important. They do have certifications, as you might imagine, to be a Scrum Master. So in the daily stand-up, they're ensuring that, as I said, everybody has the resources they need. If there's any problems, get escalated quickly. They also work with other Scrum Masters to ensure that other parts of the product, if it's a bigger product, are getting taken care of as well. So it's a lot of coordination involved. So let's, they're in terms of education and things like that. They are, like I said, there are Scrum Master certifications. In other words, there's a way to run the methodology behind developing using the Agile framework, and you're, as a Scrum Master, an expert on that to ensure that everything gets done. Like a lot of the other positions we talked about, documentation is very important, and so being able to document and resolve problems is and keep the documentation up to date in terms of how you solve the problem is very important. They often use what's called DevOps tools to roll up a set of sprints in order to build a product build and try it out. And so you'll see all sorts of things like Jenkins being used to do the roll-ups and the builds. You could also do use Jira for maintaining the tickets and the sprint weeks. What's in each sprint is typically a ticket or a task, if you will, involved, and so that you're working against that goal then as a team. Let's see. I think the other thing I would say about this career is that it's very rewarding in that you get to see things being built all the time. You're able to feel like you're having a direct impact on developers every day to ensure that they are making progress. And then on the other hand, it actually can be quite stressful because just because we're building in sprints, these 2-week cycles, doesn't mean there's not a larger deadline. So it's very important for when the big product design gets broken down into these smaller components, we still have a deadline when the product release is due, and we have to work towards that goal. And so you always have to have that goal in mind. If you have any comments or questions about this, I'd love to have a conversation with you. So please leave them in the video. Please like and subscribe. And we'll talk to you again next week when we talk about the next career. Bye now.